What's up, football fam? It's your boy Jay Tuck. So, the Dallas Cowboys are now 9-3 after their victory. Scored 54 points versus the Indianapolis Colts this past Sunday night. Man, your boy Jay Tuck was in the building for that one. Definitely had a good old time, especially in that fourth quarter. But now the conversation starts to tread and focus on the defensive side of the ball, and most importantly, the cornerback 2 position. So the Dallas Cowboys lost Anthony Brown, who was their veteran corner due to an Achilles tear. Get well, Anthony Brown. But now a lot of people are asking the question, what do we do with that second cornerback position? So Deron Bland, the rookie, had a phenomenal game with 2 interceptions. But when it comes to the outside corner position, you have to lean towards Kelvin Joseph. And I know when it comes to Kelvin Joseph, a lot of Cowboys fans have been out. They're hot, they're cold when it comes to Kelvin Joseph, right? Because we've seen flashes, but a lot of fans want to know, can it be done on a consistent basis? And I feel like the biggest mistake that Kelvin Joseph has made thus far since being in Dallas, he really hasn't been vocal, right? You really don't see him on the radio, really don't see a lot of interviews. So the Dallas Cowboys nation really hasn't gotten to know who Kelvin Joseph is as a person, besides some of the narratives that's circling around him. But make no mistakes about it. Coming out of the University of Kentucky, Kelvin Joseph is a talented corner and has all the upside potential that the Dallas Cowboys like. It's just, can he put it together on Sunday? So I said this on Twitter at JTuck151. Definitely give me a follow. I'm pushing all my chips in when it comes to Kelvin Joseph stepping up. I feel like these next 2 games is going to be critical for Kelvin Joseph and his development versus the Houston Texans and also the Jaguars, which will get him prepared for that rematch everybody's been waiting for when it comes to Devontae Smith versus Kelvin Joseph. Because, Alabama and Kentucky, they've done some battles, and it feels like Kelvin Joseph might have got the nod the first rounding. So, a lot of people are looking towards that matchup. But when it comes to our defense, that is where we really need to focus is he going to be able to step up? And I think he is. I think it's time for Cowboys Nation to kind of give this kid a chance and let him grow. I feel like given the opportunity, he's going to step up for this moment. Now, speaking of stepping up for the moment, right? I will say this, Cowboys Nation, this will probably be the last time on this channel I'll speak on the situation unless he comes to Dallas. That's Odell Beckham Jr. And you're starting to see some of the players in-house speak about it, where they're kind of getting tired of the conversation as well. DeMarcus Lawrence said, hey, we have said we will welcome Odell Beckham, but what we're not going to do is the circus, right? We got to focus on football and winning football games. That's the most important thing here. And then the media was criticizing Zeke a little bit about asking him why he didn't show up at the Mavericks game. And he was like, well, damn, if I showed up, y'all would have been critical of that for me being outside too much. So what do y'all really want from me, right? So I feel like the Dallas Cowboys, and self included, is kind of getting tired of the Odell Beckham Jr. I mean, we did everything you can possibly say. Hey, we wanted him. They kind of chanted his name. I started that whole ordeal, right? We kind of rolled out the red carpet for Odell. But here's what we're not going to do. We're not going to derail our season or our future just for Odell. That's where it really comes down to. And it sounds like there's going to be a lot of questions and concerns when it comes from the Cowboys standpoint about the medicals and will he be able to help us this year? That's been my whole focal point. Will he be able to help us this year? I don't care about next year. We do a lot of draft content. I can go get you some wide receivers next year, I promise, right? But for this season, 2022, and then also the playoffs, will he be able to help us? And it sounds like from the Cowboys standpoint, possibly not. Micah Parsons came out and said, hey, when we spoke to Odell, he said he'll probably be ready in about 5 weeks. And I'm looking at my calendar, 5 weeks. So you think you're just going to pull up to the playoffs and just help us out the gate? Nah, that's not how things work, and that's not how I want things to work here in Dallas. If that's the case, hey, roll with the guys that we got. Get some of those guys involved, whether it's Noah Brown, whether it's Jalen Tolbert, whether it's Kevontae Turpin, right? We have some wide receivers in-house that can stretch the field if given the opportunity. You just have to give them the chance. So, if that's the case, maybe we wait on James Washington a little bit, but I'm not for signing Odell Beckham Jr. for a 3-year deal and he can't play until January. That's just not me. I'm out on that. But speaking on other players getting back reinforcements, as I spoke about this morning, Tyron Smith is returning back to practice. It sounds like he is going to be ready to play either maybe this Sunday or possibly next Sunday as well. So that is going to be a huge boost for our offense, man, to have Tyron Smith. I don't care what y'all say, even when he's injured, right? Tyron Smith is one of the best left tackles in the NFL. So if he can get his feet under him, get his wind, get his stamina back up, he is going to be a huge boost for the playoffs, because also what that allows us to do is move Tyler Smith, the rookie, into left guard. And I'm sure if y'all's caught Tyler Smith on Sunday, but that boy was out there moving and grooving, y'all. I love what I've seen from Tyler Smith. Given the opportunity, I feel like this kid is going to show out and he'll be able to use his brute force. I feel like that's where Tyler Smith is going to be utilized the most. It's inside, just pushing the trenches, right? So I feel like Tyler Smith moving inside, Tyron Smith out to left tackle is only going to boost our offensive line, who's played well thus far. But my guy, Big Game James, he asked a question, right? And I'm kind of torn on this, right? Right now, we kind of sit 9-3, about to get 10 wins. We should get 10 wins for the second time in consecutive seasons since 1995, right? That's a hat off to Mike McCarthy. But are you more confident in this year's team than you were at this point last year, right? And I go back and forth, right? This team has done a phenomenal job, especially losing Dak Prescott earlier in the season, being able to rally. Our defense playing phenomenal, holding teams under 20 points. But for me, I said I just haven't seen those games, my Kool-Aid games, my buy-all-in games, and I had that last year. Even if you go back to week one, when I saw the Dallas Cowboys week one versus Tampa Bay and Tom Brady on the road in Tampa, I was like, it felt different. And then you had that New England win last year, and then you had the Minnesota win, without Dak Prescott last year. So you kind of had those wins. You can kind of build up on it. It's like, all right, we're a little bit different, right? But what I will say is this: even though we really haven't had that win besides pretty much Minnesota, and then we had our lapse versus Green Bay, I will say I think this year's team has learned a lot from last year's team. They pretty much laid the foundation. So that's why I'm more confident, I would say, in this year's team per se, because I felt like going through that season, being 12-5 last year, and then getting punched in the mouth in the very first round at home versus the 49ers, the Cowboys, they know that, right? They know that. They understand what happened. They're going to be prepared to play, whether we have to go on the road in the playoffs or have a playoff game at home. So I'm a little bit confident in this team, a little bit more than last year, but I like last year's team a little bit more than I like this year's team, man. So boy J Tuck, comment, like, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, man. Are you out on OBJ? Are you done? Say, yo, Tuck, done with it. I don't want to hear no more OBJ talk. Let's just rock with the guys we got and go get this victories. Or are you still trying to keep that window of optimism available, man? Comment, like, subscribe. Follow me on all social media platforms at JTuck151. We got my guy Vach Lombardi joining us tomorrow night. Definitely don't want to miss that, but you're going to miss it if you don't turn on that notification bell. I want everyone to stay safe, stay blessed, stay encouraged. And I'm done with the talk until he signs with Dallas. Peace.